When asked what my favorite spot in California is, I often answer with the Big Sur coastline. This stretch of 70 or so miles goes from San Simeon in the south to Carmel and Monterey in the north, and it has some of the country's most beautiful coastal views. While this is by no means a definitive list, here are 8 of my favorite stops in Big Sur from south to north. Stop number 1 is Lime Kiln State Park. Once on the chopping block to be closed, Lime Kiln State Park is a beautiful introduction to Big Sur and to its history. This state park has a great beach and campground, but the main draws are the hikes that head inland. Both hikes start on the same trail, and then there's a split in the middle that takes you to 2 distinct endpoints. The first follows the stream up to a nice waterfall with a large log sitting right in the middle of it. And then when you get back to the main trail, you can continue on the other split to the historic lime kilns. The lime kilns are from which the park gets its name, and they're nestled in the trees back at the end of the trail. Both of these spots are worth the hike and a beautiful introduction to the Big Sur area. My second recommendation is just to soak in the coastal views. While the whole area has amazing coastal views, some of the best are in the south part of Big Sur, along the drive from Lime Kiln to the next few stops. I wanted to mention this specifically as a recommendation, as you really want to plan your time to stop at many of the different pullouts, as there's so many great places to take photos along this drive. The more time you have, the more time you can just take the drive slow, pull out whenever you want, and enjoy all the views. Next up is McWay Falls. Located in Julia Pfeiffer Burns State Park, McWay Falls is probably the most well-known stop in all of Big Sur. This famous waterfall that cascades directly onto the beach requires basically no effort to see, as there's parking along the road and a walkway that takes you to the viewing area. You cannot get down to the waterfall itself, so you just have to view it from above, but that actually makes it better as there's no people in your photos. If you have the opportunity, come here for sunset. It's sure to be a sunset you'll never forget. My fourth recommendation is Partington Cove. Partington Cove is a trail I always love doing in Big Sur. This short hike can be hard to find as there's no signs and the parking is just along the side of the road, but it's worth the effort. From where you park, the trail takes you downhill to a historic loading area with a 60-foot tunnel that leads to Partington Cove. Partington Cove was an area where boats were often docked, so you can still see some of the old pieces of wood sticking out of the rocks, and there's a small bench at the cove to relax at. I've done this hike many times, but I still have a hard time not stopping and checking it out each time I'm in the area. Next up is a stop at Nepenthe restaurant. While not one of the beautiful natural wonders we have touched on so far, Nepenthe is a great stop if you're looking for a combination of California and Greek Mediterranean food on your drive. With over 50 years in business, they make a great burger called the Ambrosia Burger that's always a highlight. Of course, the main reason to come here though is for their amazing open-air bar seating which looks out over the Big Sur coastline. It's hard to think of a better view I've ever had while eating a hamburger. Recommendation number 6 is Pfeiffer Beach. Pfeiffer Beach can be hard to find and does require you to drive on a sketchy one-lane road all the way down to the parking area. It's worth the effort though, and you're rewarded with a fantastic beach that has a small rock arch out in the water and purple sand after it rains. Since the parking area is so small, you often have to wait for a parking spot, but the beach itself is never usually very busy. To me, Pfeiffer Beach is one of the most beautiful spots along the entire Big Sur coast, and easily one of my favorite spots next to McWay Falls. My second to last recommendation is the Sur Lighthouse. Located out on one of the westernmost points along the Big Sur coastline, the Sur Lighthouse and the buildings that supported it are now a California State Historic Park. It's beautiful to see from afar as you're driving, but also really impressive to tour if you have the opportunity. If you want to take the tour, you have to plan for it in advance, as there are only a few tours every week and they're on specific times and specific days. You can't book the tours in advance, so you have to check the website for the next tour time and simply drive out and wait for the tour to open. I definitely recommend it if you have a half day to devote to it though, as the views are beautiful from the hill the lighthouse is on and the history is really interesting as well. My last recommendation is Bixby Creek Bridge. Bixby Creek Bridge, or just Bixby Bridge for short, is an iconic stop on Highway 1. Built in 1932, this single-span concrete arch sits 280 feet above the canyon below. It's certainly one of the most photographed spots on the entire drive, and it's easy to see why as the bridge crosses over the canyon, looks down on the ocean, and looks out over some of the area's most beautiful coastline. There's a small pullout on the north side that lets you get some great views of the bridge, and it's fun to photograph and check out during any time of the day. Thanks so much for exploring Big Sur with me. Hopefully you found some new spots to check out next time you're in the area. Let me know what I left off in the comments, and if you want to see my other channel on places outside of California, click here. We will see you guys on the next video.